Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Art in the Morning. It is Monday morning. I love me some Mondays. I got me on a couple of little boo bracelets. These are some of her silly band bracelets that she made years ago. I have a few of them. Yeah, so I have those on today. My little boo bands, as I call them. My boo bands. Okay, so a couple things. First, I'm going to work on this page today, and let me tell you where we left off. So I'll go ahead and click in one here. So we left off, I had her face and her skin blocked in and her braids done, and we had done a demo with the cabochon from Jennifer's, where is that book? From this book, from Jennifer's The Secrets of Coloring book. We did those little cabochons, and so, and then we did some of the rose gold, and we did her braids, and we blocked in her skin, and we did most of her face. I have left the rest of her face. I'm going to zoom in when we go to do it. I finished her skin the same way that I'm going to finish her face. It's exactly the same thing, but that was another 2 hours worth of work. So I didn't want to spend another 2 hours worth of work working on her skin when it's the same thing that I'm going to do. I haven't done anything else to her face since we left off. So I'm going to finish her face today, and the way I'm going to finish her face today is the same way I finished her skin. Okay? With a gold glow. See, she's got a little bit of a gold glow to her. So we're going to do that, and then I want to finish her today. Then the next time, the next segment that we color, we'll do the wolf. So that'll be a separate video. So today we're going to finish her. But before we do that, I have a few things to show. Let's see. Let me go ahead and show you this. Connie sent me Glamourista, which I think is Jennifer Zimmermann's first color book. And she said I needed to complete the set. So now I think I have all of Jennifer's books. So I'm going to do a quick flip through this one, Glamourista. And let's see. Yeah, 2016. This one I think just came out 2018. This one just, came out this year. And then this one came out 2017. So we're going to go ahead, keep knocking over my little animal drawings that I got to get back to for my phone cases. Another thing put on hold. Thanks, Miss Aroma. So we're going to work on that. But I'm going to go ahead and do a quick flip through Glamourista. And, yeah. Just so y'all can kind of see what's in this one. And I'm sure if you order all 3 books off of Amazon, you can get some kind of a deal, especially if you're with Prime or something. Thank you, Terry, for the link. I'm sure that if you, order all 3. And they are one-sided, so you can use markers, which we'll probably do when we color in it. I think we'll maybe do a marker. And I also wanted to show you something about a marker. Hang on, because I saw it in, I think it was at Janet. So everybody's talking about Blick markers. So I wanted to show, because I do have a few Blick markers. I got it, I don't know, I think not this birthday, but the birthday before when we went to Blick, I think I ordered them. Anyway, I have I think a set of 5 Blick markers. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you the difference. If you want to see a good comparison of Copics versus Blick, Bailey J has a comparison, not a tutorial, but a demo or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. So it's just so much. And look at all the jewels you can practice on. Isn't that awesome? And I think it's repeating. Let's see, what's the first one here? Is there 2 of, yeah, so then it repeats. So there's 2 of each, so the rest of the book is going to, repeat. So, yeah, so you get 2 of each, and it is like, it's Create Space paper, so it's thin. So if you want it on heavier cardstock or something, I'm not sure if this one is in PDF as well, um, where you can just buy it without imprinted yourself. But we love our books. What can you say? So there's Glamourista. And then this is the one we're coloring in now, which is Bella Futura, and I've already done a flip through of this. So we'll get to that in a minute. I did want to show you a happy mail I got. If y'all know Deb Boring, her granddaughter was visiting, and her name is Haley, and she sent me a self-portrait. Isn't that just so awesome? Look at that. She put my name on there. She wrote the date on here. Look how adorbs is that. I just love it. And she wrote me a note. Dear Dee Dee, I love your art, and I'm so happy that you gave me that beautiful card and the peacock picture. So I decided I will make you something that I drew, some art that I drew you, a picture of me. I hope you like it. From Haley. And she has a little palette there, like a little, I know. Sorry guys, I'm on the camera. Isn't that so cute? So thank you so much, Haley. I know. It's so sweet. Look how happy she looks. I just love it. I know. So thank you, Haley. And I'm sending Haley something back. But I'd sent her, if y'all remember, that big peacock poster. That came, it was a big roll, a big peacock poster. I sent that to her. And so we had started coloring it, if y'all remember. This was a couple years ago, I guess. A couple years ago. And so anyway, I sent that to her and some other things, and so she made me my own little Haley portrait. I know. So thanks so much. I know. Everybody's saying how darling it is. I know. And the highlights in the eyes. I know, right? I'm not sure, Connie. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's go back over here to our girl here, and I do have let me show you the Blick. Okay, so here is the Blick Studio marker, and I'll zoom in here in a minute, and I'm going to be using a Hoo Hoo Hero today. So let me get a Copic so you can see the difference here. It's hoo-hoos, lots of hoo-hoos here. Okay. So the thing about the Blick that's different than your Hoo Hoo Heroes, your Touch 5s, and your budget-friendly markers is that Blick has a brush nib like a Copic. As far as I know, Blick is the only one that has the brush nib. Okay, other than Copic. So here is the difference. Let me see if I can show you there. And I know it's kind of moving a little bit. Here is the Copic is here, Blick is here. So you see how similar they are? And then let me show you the other end. So here's the Blick on the right and the Copic on the left. To me, there's really no significant difference in the way they look. Like I said, Bailey did a comparison of the two. So someone that uses Copics all the time would be the person to ask what differences you see in them. So, hey Lynn, hey everybody that's popping in. Hey Kenny, Vicky, Mermaid Jan, anybody else I missed? So the Blick ones have the difference is in the packaging is it's like an octagonal shape, so you can see the shape of it. It's got ridges, whereas the Copic is just smooth. So it's got a little bit of ridges, and there you go. You can see it there. So, and they have their numbering system too. And they come in, I think Blick comes in like 96 colors, I think. So you can go on their website and look, and they have they have sales all the time, and they have a little package. Like I think I got the primaries, I got the red, yellow, blue, black. I don't know, another one. Anyway, there's like 5. It was a pack of 5, and you're use up your 200 alcohol markers this year. Oh, good, Galena. And hi, by the way, and anybody else I missed. So if you just want to get, a trial set, if you like your Copics and the brush tip, the Blick have the brush tip too. So, and again, if you want to get a nice comparison of what they do, how well they blend, all that, then I would recommend going to Bailey's comparison. It's probably been a year, maybe more, but I'm sure she has it in a playlist. If you look up Copic Blick or something like that, you'll be able to find it on her channel. Okay, so there's that. So I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. Okay, so then what else? I don't need the blue because I'm going to use purple here a little bit on these stars. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to finish up her. Let me go ahead and zoom in and talk a little bit about it. Okay, so like I said, we had got to the point where all of her skin had base coated. That's where we left off with her skin. I spent a couple more hours finishing up her skin, but did not do anything else to her face. This is where we left off on her face. Okay, so we're going to finish that. There's not much more to do. Another layer of a sienna ochre color, and the other thing that I did. He said, aw, that's sweet, Galena, I think. Hi, Joy. Anybody else? Thanks, Lindair. Anybody I might have missed? Kitty. So the other thing is, a while back, I told everybody, I always just blend my portraits and everything. I just blend with pencils. I never have liked the Prismacolor blender pencil. It feels scratchy to me, okay? And someone recommended the Derwent one. So I forget if I ordered them if I got it at Hobby Lobby or if I ordered them. I think I ordered them on Amazon. But they're the Derwent blender. Okay, it's just the Derwent blender. And believe it or not, these are not scratchy. So whoever recommended to try the Derwent blender, they are not scratchy. They are softer. I don't know what the difference is. So I did do blending with the Derwent on her skin here. I just did a test. I thought, well, it's a good place to do a test. So I blended out, and I'm going to do that on her face too. I blended it out with the Derwent blender, which is the first time I really used it, other than just a quick test or something, So, yeah, I did like the Derwent blender. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's pretty good. So whoever recommended that, because it's not scratchy. Now, could you pile up too much pencil and it not work? Probably, But we're going to go ahead and do her face. So the last layer I want to do is put a layer or two. I might have to go back and add some other, but my plan is we pretty much got everything done on here, with the exception of one more layer of the sienna ochre color. This one is 943. It has ochre, but I think it's something ochre. I forget what it is. Is it this one? Because I have a sienna. No, that's sienna. Anyway, it's number 943. So we're going to put a last layer of 943 on here, and we're going to blend it with the Derwent. Um, yeah, they do scratch, Joy. Try to, yeah, get this one then, Joy. The Derwent, it's not scratchy. All right, so and then we're gonna try to finish her up because and then next color episode, this will be part 3, and then we'll do one more episode will be part 4 when we do the wolf. All we have now on here is the base coat of some gray Neo Color 2. So this is part 3 of coloring this double page spread by Jennifer Zimmermann. Okay, so I'm going to put, and all my layers are very light. I gotta say, they're all very light layers. So I'm just gonna put one more coat of the sienna over her face, and then we're gonna Derwent blend it with the blender pencil. Okay, and hopefully, I mean, I wasn't real concerned about doing her, shoulders and all that, but the face is a little different story. But we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. Okay. So. And you might or might not be able to tell the color going down, because it's very light. And I know I say that all the time, light layers, but it's true, people, it's true. It makes a difference. So if you all have any questions, put them in caps. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching over there. I've not forgot about doing my Bailey J giveaway. I just haven't had a chance to do a little demo out of her book yet. I look forward. I want to support her. Her new book, and so it's not brand new. I mean, it's a few months old, but I just came across it a few weeks ago at my Barnes and Noble, and I did tweet a picture of myself holding it, and. So I want to maybe do a little something out of it, and then I'm going to do a giveaway with it. Oh, good, good. Well, I do my best to try to explain everything I'm doing. Sometimes people say I repeat myself or over-explain, but then I get people going, oh, no, keep over-explaining because I need it. I need the over-explaining. So, that's just the way it is. I do, I'm talking out what I'm doing. So if it takes 2 hours to do something, I'm talking for 2 hours about what I'm doing. That's the way, you got to do it if you're in real time. Plus we're all chatting and stuff. We go on rabbit trails around here, people. Just face it, we go on rabbit trails. Hi, Limo. Hey, Tatiana. How do you know when you need to use a darker color for the shadowing? I can't say how do you tell. I just, like right in here, I want this very dark. So I'll just get in there because I know that there's a shadow in there. If it doesn't look dark enough to you, now if I'm doing a portrait, I have a photograph to look at. So I can look at the colors, right? If you're just doing this and you're kind of, you're making it up, but I've done a lot of portraits, so I kind of know where I'm going with it. And I wanted her to kind of look, I wanted her dark, but I also wanted her to have a golden glow. Now, I might have got just a little too golden. See right here? That might be a little too golden, but I figure if the light's hitting her, it's in the moonlight, there's the moon, and it's okay, But I wanted her to, have a nice, pretty glow to her skin. All right, now I don't want to overdo this because I'm going to do the Derwent thing, the Derwent blender thing. So we'll go ahead and I think that's probably not, maybe just a little bit, because I want her to have, a high cheekbone there. So I want to leave that light right there where the light's hitting her cheekbone, right on the base of her nose right there, right here on her chin, her lips, they have a little highlight there. And it's very, very light layers. I showed y'all before right here. I showed y'all here. This right here is 20 layers. Right there. Here's hard pressure. Well, I got something on there. I don't know. Yeah, I think I scraped it or something. I did hard pressure right here to show you what hard pressure looked like. Oh, it's a tear. I tore it with the hard pressure. So don't do that, especially on Create Space paper. But all this right here, that's 20 layers. I sat here and showed you how lightly I go. Like there's one layer. Well, there's a little, hang on, there's some paint or something there. Let's go right here. So here's one layer. 2 layers. Same pressure, just over and over and over. 3 layers. And I kept going till this. This is 20 layers. Right there. 20 layers. And then this is complete hard pressure, so you could see how many more layers I could do to get to that. But this is the pressure I'm using right now on her face. This is the pressure I'm using on her face. Okay, so let's go back over here. You have a black screen? Is anybody else? Are we good, or did something happen? Let me do a test. How is everybody got a problem? I don't see that anything's happening on my end. Okay. It's still showing I'm recording, so we're good. Yeah, just refresh. Thanks, Terry. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sharpen my Derwent. Now, here's one thing that you do want to be aware of. I don't know if it's as much of an issue because I haven't used it except on her skin, so it wasn't really a problem. But you might be picking up some, like you do with white, you could pick, or light colors. You'll pick up pigment on the pencil itself, and if you pick up pigment on the pencil and you go to, let's just say I was working on her braids here. Let's just do a little test. Let me get a piece of, oh, here's my cardstock here. Okay, I have a piece, my cardstock is behind my work here. Okay, all right, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to blend out her braid a little bit just to pick up some pigment, see what happens. So I'm blending out her braid. Now let's see how much pigment that picked up. See? So if I work on her braid and go straight to her face, that goes on her face. It's just one line, but it's still a line. So make sure, this is why you see all this stuff on, like here, all over my desk. It's when I'm using white. Where's a white? When I'm using white, and let's just say I'm going over the braids and I'm picking up, you might be able to see it. See the blue on there? Well, if I now go straight to her face, that blue is going, you know, to make a mark on her face. So that's why I have, you see all this here. I'm cleaning off my white pencil on this paper. This is just it's just a folding table, as all my desks are. There's a bunch of them in here. Back to back, L shape, but there's just a folding table, and this, I think it's got probably about 20 layers of paper on it now. But anyway, that's what I do. I clean off the tip of my pencil so that you don't transfer a color from one area to another. You get in the habit of doing that. So I just tested it with this, and it does pick it up some. So even though it only made one mark, wherever it was, it only made one mark when I picked it up with the Derwent blender. It's still, you won't want that on your face, right? Okay, so now we're going to come over here and I'm going to start blending. Okay, I'm just going to start, you know, very small, maybe little circles, you know, kind of back and forth, cross hatching, little circles, but I'm not bearing down real hard. I'm putting slightly more pressure than I did with the pencil, but not a lot. I'm not grinding the pencil down. I'm not grinding into it. Hey, May. So I'm doing it gently. And again, if I'm here on a light area, like right along her face here, then you might want to get in the habit of coming over here and getting that little bit off. so that you keep it keep your your blender clean. All right, and I don't even know how much this is going to show up, but I'm going to get all the shadows in here, and I can see it blend. I don't know how well you can see it blend, because it's very subtle, because I have so many layers on her face already that the blending is very subtle, because I've already got it so well blended. There's some areas here this needs more blending, but it's already got a lot of blending done with pencil. Okay, but the Derwent is not scratchy. I mean, I can't say there's no scratch to it, but it's not near as scratchy to me as Prisma. That's why I never used blender pencils. And again, I'm not dissing on anybody that does. I don't like using any kind of mineral spirits, oils, none of that. That's just me, Then again, I don't like pastel either. So, we all have our preferences of materials. And, you got to use what works for you. I personally just don't like, I guess maybe it's the inconvenience. I don't like the inconvenience of having to use mineral spirits or any kind of anything. I don't want to be hindered by having to do that. I want to be able to do it all with pencil. So, again, I'm doing this carefully, guys, and going, I'm taking my time. I'm not just grinding down in there. Can you add more color after? Not. I could probably add another layer, but when you're doing this part, you are smashing down the paper. It's kind of like after you've got 20 layers of pencil, there's no more, you can't do any more to it. Now, could you go out and spray it, seal it, fixative it, and maybe add another layer? Maybe. Again, I don't fixative or seal any of my color pencil. So, I would recommend, if you were going to do that, to do tests. Don't go out there and spray your piece and hope for the best. Do test sheets, okay? Just saying. But by the time you're doing this, you are mashing down the pigment. You're mashing it into the paper. So there's really not going to be any more blending. I could probably go back on top of here and add a dark layer. But will I be able to blend it? It's not probably going to work as well as you might hope it would work. Because you are mashing your paper down at this point. Does that make sense? Could I go on here and add a black line? Sure. Well, see, Joy, that's just it. I never have used blending pencils ever, because I never liked the Prisma scratchiness, so I never use them. This is the first time I've used one in any, I've done a little test with it. I mean, but somebody recommended the Derwent blender, and it's not scratchy. I mean, you got a little bit, but it's not as bad as, to me, as the scratchiness of the Prisma blender. So I'm not sure what the formulation is in their blender versus, but yeah. So can you do it without blender? Absolutely. I've never, in 30, 40, however long I've been doing color pencils, at least 30 years, I've never used blenders. I've tried to use, what are they called? Your, I got one sitting around here somewhere, I think. Anyway, tortillon. To me, a tortillon just doesn't, it's not for me. I couldn't get it, never could, get tortillons to work with color pencil. It just kind of smashed it just didn't blend like, if you're using your mineral spirits, then you probably want to use a tortillon, right? to dip into your mineral spirits and other oils and whatever other people use to do their blending. Then you'll want to use a tortillion to blend. But yeah, you absolutely can do all this without a blender pencil, because I don't use one. But because somebody recommended the Derwent, I'm trying it. I'm trying it on her. And you just can see where you can see the paper and where it needs to be blended even more. It's, you know, it makes it a little quicker than using all the pencil, maybe. I don't know, but you got to take your time and do it not gently. You got to do this gently. Karen Dosh is, they have a blend. Oh, the Luminance one, Kitty, I didn't care for it. I didn't care for that blender. Now, maybe on the Luminance pencils themselves, I did test it with them because it came with the set, but I wasn't really impressed with their blender either. This one works well, at least for Prisma, okay? But again, and you'll see it smashed in, and you'll be able to tell this ain't moving anymore. Nothing's shifting anymore. You've mashed it down into the paper as much as it's going to work. And you just got to, that's it, you know. So I want to get this far enough for you to be able to at least see, because that's what I did here. All this has been done with Derwent. Now, could there be a little bit more care right along a couple edges? Probably, but I wanted to get this done. This was another extra 2 hours here or so, and so I didn't film that. But what I'm doing here at this layer is exactly what I did on the skin here. Okay. But I just didn't take another 2 hours to do that because, for one, people are going to get very bored watching me color skin for 2 hours. How do you blend it when you use markers? You mean all marker or marker with pencil on top? You'll have to be a little more specific, because we've done pages that's all marker. We've done pages where we've used marker as a base, just like we use Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons as a base on this. I have marker samples in my playlist. Just look in the color book playlist. So I'm just being gentle. Don't smash it down, because then you've ground down the pigment in that one spot, and you're not going to be able to feather it out at all. You just have to take your time. So, hey, Prisma, good to see you. The word tortillion makes you hungry because you think of tortillas. Full blender, bright, not encased. Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about, Kitty, I think. Let me get it out here. Hang on, let me find it. One moment. Here, this one's broken, but let me sharpen it. You're talking about this, right? You're talking about this? Now this one's broken in half, so it needs to be sharpened again. Hang on. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? That blender? I mean, when you do markers only for skin. Yeah, I've done a couple of samples of that, Joy. Now, I'm no expert I'm no expert on markers. I always refer you to people that do their markers. This is what you're talking about, right? One of these feels kind of like plastic. This blender, yeah, I don't care for it. That's just me. Okay, that's just me. I like to blend everything with just pencil. But somebody recommended the Derwent blender, and so far of all the blenders, I like this one the best. That's just me. Again, guys, don't anybody email me and go, oh my god, you don't like that blender, and people do that, believe it or not. Use what works for you, but do tests. You got to test, especially, this is Create Space paper. It's thin paper, people. It's like copy paper. Not much, if, maybe a little bit thicker than copy paper, but not much. So you just got to kind of take your time. So I did want to work on her and finish her up today, or as far as we can get in about, an hour and a half. And then I'll have, like I said earlier, then the wolf will be its own. The wolf will be its own video. But, doing pencil layering and learning pencil layering, you got to have the patience. You got to, take time to learn it and take your time doing it. It's just the way it is. Can y'all even see that anything's being done? If you're doing, the tip that I would recommend for markers, skin markers, like alcohol markers, is get you the basic set. Now I'm just going to grab some here because I don't remember what's all in the basic set, because I got 2 or 3 sets. Get you the basic chow set of skin. I think it comes with 5 or 6. I forget. There's 2 sets. There's a dark skin and a light skin. I would recommend getting those. A set of, I think it's 5 in the set. And they come in a pack where you can go to like Michael's and use a coupon and get the set of skin tones. To me, we have the Hoo Hoo Heroes, we have the Blick, we have the Touch, all the different ones. But for skin is tricky to blend. So I recommend the Copic Chow set for an initial skin set. Now you could go out and buy the same colors in the sketch markers, They both have the brush tip. That's the thing. They have the brush tip. Looks like girls have to. Yeah, well, you got to blend that out, Emily. It has to be blended out, either with pencil or, in this case, I'm trying out the Derwent. And some people, like I said, like to use mineral spirits and different oils and different, I don't do any of that. So you'll have to go somewhere else to find that tutorial. And I come over here on my, next to me here and scratch off any excess. Do you think the Derwent blender feels softer? I don't know that it feels softer. I just think it's working better. I don't know. Let me do a test. Where'd I put it? Let's see here. See, all right, here's what I can immediately tell. And maybe it's because this is just made for the luminance. Okay? If this, because the luminance supposedly is half oil, half wax, and people don't email me, that debate's done for me. Whatever a luminance is made out of. Anyway, as soon as I started doing that, it's picking up the color. It's literally picking up the wax. This is picking up the wax. It's not blend. Well, it may blend some, maybe if I just kept at it, but that's the first thing I noticed putting this on Prismacolor. Okay? Is it's picking up the wax. This is not picking up the wax. It's mashing the wax in. Okay? It's mashing the wax in into the paper. And I don't really, to tell you the truth, I don't remember what it did on the luminance. I'm just not a blender pencil kind of gal. I just like doing it all with pencil. But I am liking this Derwent with the Prismacolor. So if you want a blender pencil that I think works pretty well on Prismacolor, it's the Derwent blender. Okay? So like I've got real dark in that dark area there. Now I want to come over here on my paper and just kind of clean off the tip a little bit. And whether or not you can go back in with more pencil is probably going to depend on how many layers you already have. But once you mash it down into the paper, it's like there's no unmashing the paper. Do you know what I mean? There's no unmashing the paper. The Tombow markers. Yeah, you mean like these kinds? Are they in here? You talking about like these? Like these? These are not, I'm not sure what these are. I think these are just water-based. You can blend some, but they're not going to blend like, nothing blends like an alcohol marker. And just trust me, nothing really blends like a Copic. I mean, let's just face it. You know, there's just not. So I used to use Tombows for lettering years and years ago when they first came out. And then they all either dried up or I gave them to the kids or something. So I just bought some new Tombows here recently to do brush lettering again. But would I try to do color book pages? Probably not. I'm probably not going to try to use Tombows as a color book page. There's just too many other products that you could, you know, you could put, and I mean, I guess you could use them as a watercolor if you put them in like a tray, in like the porcelain tray where I scribble in, put that down on a porcelain tray. It's the same way I use my mermaid markers, is I'll put them in a porcelain tray and, you know, add water and blend them out and use it like watercolor. But I have so many watercolors. You know, I have so many watercolors, I'm just going to use watercolor. You know, so it's just me, you know. And, you know, just to be honest, I just don't have time to learn how to use the Tombows as a watercolor when I, you know, if I was going to do it with anything, I'd use my Crayola Super Tips, you know, or my Zig Kuritakis. It may or may not work. The thing is just I just don't have the time. I'm barely, and I don't get everything done on a stream that I'd love to be able to do. So you test it and let us know. The type of paper, yes, and it does matter on the type of paper. Absolutely matters on the type of paper. But for me, when I'm doing color books, now when I do my portraits, I do all my portraits on toned tan paper, and I don't use marker. Okay, I use acrylic paint and pencil. But when I'm doing my color book pages, I printed out a few things to do some tests or to, do one to give away or something. But I like using whatever the paper is in the book. That's just me. Whatever kind of paper comes in the book, that's the paper I'm going to use. That way people can see. I hear my little kitties out there wanting in. That way people can see when they buy the book what can be done with it. As is. All right, let me see which one's meowing at the door. Come on in. Come on in, girl. It's the Maui girl. She'll probably be up here on my desk, and that's why I don't let them in, because they want to get up here on my table. Hey, Eileen. There she is. You can probably hear her purring. Hear her purr? Okay, move your little mullet head out of the way. You just want some love. You want some pets. I wish your diva sister was like that. Okay, you're going to have to move now. All righty, let's pick you up, baby. There you go. All right, where was I? You've been coloring in your books with watercolor for art therapy. Yeah, see the watercolor for art therapy, if it's the ones, I've got one of those books. I think I have the Celtic knot ones, or the Celtic one, and it's really thick. I mean, it's probably the thickest, other than like a special book, a special publication or something. I think the art therapy books have the most thickest paper, if you will. The most thickest paper. All right, I'm going to have to lock you out of here. You're going to have to move. I know you want some love. Of any of the color books. But those books are like $20 too, if I remember. I'll have to pull one off the shelf and see. Oops, sorry guys, I gotta get back down here. Yes, I know you want to headbutt me. You want to headbutt me. All right, come on. You're gonna have to get off here. I'll probably have to lock her back out. So I don't remember if I got that blended right there. You heard her purring? Yeah. The Celtic book, same illustration, did Aztecs and Mayans. Okay, see, I haven't seen or looked at those, I don't think. But I did buy I bought the Celtic knot one because I love calligraphy, and I love Celtic knots and Celtic designs from my calligraphy days. So I really like that one, and the paper is just really thick. But like I said, it's now I guess that's not that expensive, $20 for a color book. But when I bought that one a couple years ago, or whenever it was, $20 for a color book was quite a bit. They're cheap on UK, France, eBay if you get used as new. Have you seen the coloring books named Cat Butt? Yeah, who was it? Was it Janet? Janet has one? Janet has a cat butt one? I forget who sent it to her, but yeah. I think, or maybe she bought it. Maybe she bought it. Yeah, no, I would not, definitely not do an acrylic pour with cats around. It was warm this way. Yeah, I slept with the window open, Suze. Yeah, well, it's a nice thick paper. Okay, so, and I'm constantly over here, doing this, cleaning off the tip so that it doesn't move, from somewhere that I don't want it to. Okay, so let me do a little bit on her lips here. I've already pretty much got that blended with pencil as it is. Okay, so I'm liking that. A little bit more right there. But I'm going to stop so we can move on, because otherwise, we're going to run out of time. All right, so there we go. Let me back out a little while we do so you can see. So I already did her hand and her body before. It took like I said, it was a couple hours worth of work that I didn't, do a stream with. Was whacked. Yours, cracked. Yours was cracked. Oh, your window was cracked. I'm thinking your color book was cracked, Suze. Yeah, I have a ceiling fan in my bedroom. And I also have the fan that I leave in here most of the time in the summer. I've only needed, I think, once so far, this year. The standing fan, the floor stand fan that I leave in here when it gets hot in here. What's the difference between blender pencil and burnisher? I'm not sure. These are all called blenders. If you mean by a burnisher, some people mean a tortillion. The paper, the hard wrapped paper tortillions, some people call that a burnisher. So I'm not sure what you mean, Suze. Do you want to describe the burnisher that you're talking about? Hey, Susan Ribbons. Okay, so there we go. I think we're going to move on from her face so we can do some other things. All right. Let me go ahead and lay down remember all the rose gold, okay? And this is just an initial lay down here. I'm not going to do the wolf right now. We're going to concentrate over on her. So I'm going to go ahead and take the light pink. I think it was Deco Pink. So, if you want the exact colors, go back to part 1 where I told you all the numbers, all the colors, and everything that we used on this demo. The rose gold demo, that was in part 1 when we did the cabochons and all the colors in the rose gold. Same colors. Okay, so I'm going to start with the light pink just to put down a layer on. Let me go ahead and zoom in some. So, at least at this stage here. And when I start doing more shading, I'll get a little closer. But I want you to see the big picture. Okay, so every place that's metal, I'm going to go in here and just put a layer of the light pink color over all of it, just to put a base coat. And that's everything that's metal, all around these little beads, if you will. Oh, that is still far. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Every place that there's metal, I'm just base coating it. We're going to start with that. And it's very light coat, guys. Very, very light coat. And probably if I were you, I would not do these dark purple. I did these just to show you the dark purple and blue little beading things because we wanted to match this cabochon. But now I'm having to be extra careful not to smear that purple. And that sometimes when I do my demos for you guys, I tell you, I'm gonna jump ahead here. I don't recommend that you jump ahead on this. Wait till you get X, Y, and Z done before you do that. But you know, sometimes I want to show you what a part's gonna look like when it's done. So I jump ahead. But I try to tell you, don't jump ahead. It would have been much easier just to color this whole thing pink. Oh, okay. I thought you meant because here, hang on, let's see. Where's that book? So I'm going to put my hand on it. Not sure. Here. Yeah. Okay. I thought this was the book. These hardback art therapy. They're very nice. They're hardback. And the paper is, you know, a decent paper. And so there's a whole line of these. Art therapy, Celtic designs, art therapy, Mayan, there's all kinds. So let's get all this metal, because we want it to look like rose gold metal. And again, the tutorial that we showed a little bit of, we didn't show a lot of the metal tutorial because we concentrated on the stone, but that's also in Jennifer Zimmermann's book, this one. Secrets of Coloring. So yeah, look at part 1 of these of this series from her coloring books and her tutorial book. I'm gonna sharpen again. Hi Button, anybody else I missed? Okay, so there's just the light pink layer. Okay, now I'm gonna go down here and do all the metal same way. Just an initial light pink, peachy pink on here. It might it's not even hardly showing up on camera, but that's the next step. Probably just looks like I'm coloring in white. Hi, kangaroo. But I can see a light tint of light peachy pink on there. Discontinued a few what kind of color books? The what do you call it? The art therapy ones? I don't know. I only have the one, so I'm gonna have all this be that metal too, rose gold. So let me just put a nice little layer on there, and I got my cardstock behind there. Get right along the edge there. Same for the armbands. It's all going to be rose gold. And a bracelet too. I'll get to that in a minute. So what's everybody else working on today? If not a coloring page, what are you working on? I did a lot of cleaning over the weekend. I cleaned out a closet of a lot of old art projects, a lot of supplies that I know I'm never going to use anymore. I threw away a ton of stuff. I just cleaned out. I was brutal. That's what I told the girls when I saw them over the weekend at one of the girls' streams. I was brutal. Denise would be proud. She would be proud of all the stuff I got rid of. And sorted through, picked out a few things I wanted to keep of this or that. I still have a bunch of wood stuff to go through, and I have a bunch of old clay stuff I want to go through. I gave away all the clay itself, but the things I made from clay, hundreds of beads and cabochons and stuff. I got tons of that stuff. You're sewing aprons? Oh, Vicky, we're going to go on a day trip. Oh, good. Awesome. Make sure and take video and pictures, Terry. Terry's going to go out to Silver Falls. You need to rave. My grandson's I give the, yeah, when I get a lot of nubs, they go to Cameron. He has a big bucket that he keeps them all in. Jen is in Disney fairy tale pictures for your Facebook group Coloring Week. Yeah, I saw that, Jen. Jen Reading with Pugs has a Facebook group that they're doing Disney fairy tale coloring for. Is it for the month of April, Jen? I think it's for the month. Joy is working on coloring, organizing your art supplies. Oh, good, Terry. Yeah, do because those are so fun. I love seeing your videos. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop and I'm going to do the feathers before I continue on with the rose gold. Because I want to show you. I don't know that we'll finish it all, but I want to. We'll do we'll do this armband so that you can see. I painted a lot this weekend and have paint on your coffee cup. I know. I hear you on that. Kangaroo's having dinner, then go because she's in Oz, and then gonna try coloring in romantic coloring. I thought you were working in romantic country, Kangaroo. For some reason, I thought I saw you working in romantic color. Or you just mean not going to try to color in that book, you're just going to try to have time to color. Because I thought I'd seen you post pictures of romantic country. Susan Ribbons is debating Copics or watercolor. I missed what you are coloring in, Susan. What are you going to color in? Or a card or what? I missed what you were coloring. Kitty, I'd love to see some of your clay beads and stuff. Yeah, maybe I can dig it. When I dig it out. I haven't got that far. I was just really doing paper stuff, shipping stuff. I cleaned out all my shipping closet. A lot, just so much. I think I actually threw away 5 big trash bags full of stuff. I'm telling you, people, when you've been an artist for, however, I've been in this house for 20 years. So this studio space and all that, it's been almost 20 years. 18 years that I've been in this house, in this studio, collecting and doing artwork. And so, yeah, a lot of it had to go. Well, a lot of those beads and stuff, Susan, are probably not worth using. It's not worth. They're tests and trials, and some are painted, some, it's, yeah. Finished 2 pictures. Okay, you finished 2 pictures in romantic country. Gonna try one more complicated pictures next. Okay. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, because I thought I'd seen you post something, Kangaroo, that you posted it from romantic country. Lindare's watercoloring. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for a minute. These are the colors I'm using for the rose gold. Well, not the blue. I take that back. These are the colors I'm using for the rose gold metal. Metal. Three shades of gray. That's dark, dark gray. A hot pink, a bright orange, and a light pink. Those are the colors that I'm using. Okay. All right. So now I want to do some other things. I want you to see lots of things because I'm only going to work on this for another, 30, 45 minutes today. See, it's 10, maybe 30 more minutes. That'll give us an hour and a half. Okay, so I want to show you. So when I show the rose gold, I'm going to do this piece right here. It's all going to be done the same way. It's all going to be done the same way as we did this bit right here. It's all going to be done the same. So look at part 1 to see how we're doing the rose gold. It's right there. That's finished right there. Okay. And all the metal's going to be done the same. I'm going to do her bracelet because I want you to see how to leave a shine. So like leave a light area here with dark and dark on the sides and then a shine right here where the light's hitting it, right? A person can only purchase one of the Morphe color books. Which one would, if I was only going to buy one of the Morphia books, probably Mythomorphia. Because I like the images in it. I like the images in Mythomorphia, but if you like more animals, then you're going to like Anamorphia better. If you want to use markers, then you should go with the newest one, Phantomorphia, which has one-sided pages. So whatever, you like. If you like using markers, go with Phantomorphia. If you like myths, like I do, I like Mythomorphia. If you like animals, go with Anamorphia. So, you got to go with what you like. Okay, so before we get on to this rose gold, I just got it base coated with the light pink. I want to work on the feathers. So the feathers I'm going to add a little bit of, let me sharpen here. I think I'll go with a little bit of blue and gray because I'm going to mostly do white. Okay. So I'm going to, let's go with the dark gray. Okay, I'm going to go with the dark gray and blue. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, if you want to do markers with one-sided pages, that's his only book that has one-sided pages. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go on the stem of the feathers. I'm just going to do a solid gray. That's too brown gray. I want a gray. Dark, cool gray. Let me dig around here for a minute. ASMR moment. This one will probably work. I have to dig in my bundles. I'm not finding the exact gray. Hang on, let me get to my bundles here. Yeah, that's warm gray. I want a cool gray, but I want a dark one. All right, there it is. All right, 90% cool gray. I want a gray, but I want it on the cool side. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here and just go right over the line. Sharpen. Right over the center. And I'm not going to do any shading or blending on that, so, I'm putting a little more pressure on that because it's just going to be one dark line down the middle. One dark line down the middle of each feather. Make sure, if you're doing any hard pressure, well, it's a good idea to get in the habit of putting a piece of cardstock behind your paper anyway, but, make sure that you have that behind, because you'll dent the page behind it. Even though these are one-sided, they are thin. I'm just turning it so I can get a straight line here. Okay. So there's the center of all the feathers. All right, now I'm going to go with the lighter gray. Let's see what I want a cool gray. What is it? 50% cool gray. All right, and I'm just going to do a little bit of shading close to, down here close to the metal, right? And now it's not hard pressure, now it's light pressure. Just going to go like where it's, like there'd be a little bit of a shadow from this metal piece. And then I'm going to go just a little bit, like right over the top of all the dark gray. It just kind of makes it not so harsh. Just a little bit of light. And then under a couple feathers where one is overlapping the other. Be a little darker under there. Okay. Like that. And now I'm going to take my blue, like a slate blue, or this is a Caribbean blue or Caribbean blue. Hi, Kmore. And now I'm just going to put a little, very, very light, just a tint of blue in it. And here comes a cat. Okay, can't get on the page. Can't get on the page. No. No. Okay, so I just want a tint of blue as like a under, I think I'm going to need a little bit darker. I'm going to go back with just a little bit darker gray right along, right under that metal piece, just to have a little bit more shadow where that's going to be. And I want it kind of harsh because it's round, and the shadow that it would cast is going to look like that. And I'm just going to kind of go on top of it with the blue. Okay, like that. Now everything else is going to be with white Posca. So I'm going to take my white Posca. I should probably do these stars before I do the Posca because the feather's going to go over that. All right, we're going to take a little bit, let's another step back and do these stars, because what I'm going to do is on the stars is down here in some of the dotted stars and the little stars, this is going to just have a slight, the clouds are just going to have a slight shading to it, and then the rest is going to be paint, which we won't get to that till after we do the wolf. So I want these stars here. I'm going to do them with the purple. I pulled out a purple Hoo Hoo Hero with the bullet tip. Now definitely make sure you got you a cardstock under it, right? And I'm going to do the dots, and it will go through, trust me. This is thin paper. Alcohol markers will go through. So I'm just going to touch the stars. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lavender and go over that. So let's just go ahead and get all the stars in there. I'm just barely touching because it will, this is create space paper. This will feather out. This will bleed out. So just like touch and lift, touch and lift. Don't pussyfoot around in there. Yeah, the Poscas, I'm going to use the white on the feathers. But I have to do the stars behind her head first. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to do all the stars. So let's just go ahead and do purple stars here, and I'll show you what we're going to do on the black part. And it probably doesn't look very purple, and I am very zoomed in. Hopefully it's not too fuzzy, but I might need to readjust. So you got to kind of get in the ditch there. All right, let me go over here, and I'm going to put my paper, my cardstock behind this one, because I'm going to go ahead and do all of it right while I'm here. You could, you could use your Crayola markers for this. Okay, let's go up here, and I'm trying to get in the ditch there as far as I can. Hang on, Hub's just calling. Yes? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. All right, hang on. Okay, hang on. I'll go down there right quick. Okay, hang on, guys. Hubster needs me to go do something for him. So just 1 second. I need to back out anyway because I want you to see how I'm going to do this. So, all right. Be right back. Just 1 minute. I need to get some coffee anyway, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm downstairs. Okay. And the cat followed me down, so I'm going to lock her out. She'll probably be meowing at the door in a minute, but got hot coffee, so yay, hot coffee. Okay. So, alrighty. Reading up on the chat here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is very lightly, I'm going to take my lavender and I'm going to go right over all this. I'm going to feather a nice soft layer. And it is a little tricky to get in the ditch there. You know, it always is. Now remember, at the end of the day, or not today, but the end of the page, there's going to be, I'm putting paint fog, mist over everything. but I'm just going to show you this right now. Okay, so I want the star. And I might put some stickles on this. Where's Jen? I won't do it now because it needs to be done at the end. But I think I'll put some stickles on these stars. If y'all don't know what stickles are, it's like a glitter glue type thing. Hang on, let me get down in here. Or you could, do any kind of Winkostella or any kind of just a swoosh of glitter. You like my ringtone? That's Hubster's ringtone. Okay. I mean, that's the one I have for him. I don't know. I might have it for Denise, too. I think I have it for family. Okay. So, trying to get down here. See, I hear her out there now. She wants back in. So it's like, I think it's coming out of this. That's just me. Out of the wolf's. Okay. So I'll add a little bit more to it and feather it out a little bit. I want you to see how it's going to look, okay? It's going to be like this. And I'll probably put a clear diamond stickle over it. Like with my finger, I'll just do a swoosh of stickles and it'll sparkle. Okay? Yeah, stickles is our best friend. Okay, so now the reason I wanted to do that was so I could show you how I'm going to do this. So let me sharpen my pencil again. And the stars up here are going to, oh, look. There's stars across the moon here. Let me go ahead and do those real quick too. Just so I don't forget here. Let me just go do the dots here. Okay, I'll let that sit for just a second, just to make sure it's dry. Okay, so what I'm going to do on these is kind of the same thing, but with lavender. So I'm going to take the big stars here, and this is why I stopped on the feathers so I could do this, because the feathers are going to come across this. So I have to have this background done first. So you got to try as much as you can to have your backgrounds done before you put things like deep feather details or anything like that over the top. So I'm just going to kind of make some kind of like, well, you can see there. And you'll see what I'm going to do with the Posca here in a minute too. So I'm just kind of feathering it out. So it's like harder pressure right around it and then kind of feathering it out. And I'm just going to do a few of the larger stars here like that. Kind of feather them out, feather them out. Okay, maybe let's just do a couple of these circles back here just to make it consistent, although I might add some extra star glow to some of these too. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just like kind of like I do my nebula. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I just want a little bit of that purple kind of coming through. You could do more than one color if you want. I'm just going to keep it purple, I think. Okay. Just a little bit in the black. Now remember, her book has, half the book has white paper, white backgrounds, and the half the book has a duplicate with it in black, right? And I chose to do the one with the black already on it, which is nice because you know I like to put the stars and stuff. Okay, so let's just, okay, so again, I'm going to go right up onto that purple here. Something like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is take my Posca, and this is where I'm going to do the feathers, but I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm already up in here in the sky, up in the stars. I'm going to probably put a little bit of star glow and a couple more here, like one there, maybe just a tiny bit on that one. And then I'm going to extend these out. So instead of leaving it like that, I went to that. But you had to have that purple. You needed the purple done first, right? And you need this done before I go over it with feathers. Okay. You have your puppy on your lap? Yeah. All right, something like that. Maybe this one needs just a little bit of star there. Like that. All right, so now I still want to do one little section of the rose gold. This is already it's going to end up being 2 hours already. And we're already an hour and a half in, and I need at least 30 more minutes just to get the basics here. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here on the feathers. Let me go ahead and zoom in so we can see that. And I know it gets a little fuzzy when I get that close, but I want you to be able to see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the back feathers, and then the front, these little ones are on top of those, so those will be done. You got to do it in layers. Okay, so I'm going to can y'all see that? Oh, that's hard to see. Can't get much better than right there. And it's a little fuzzy, but I think. So I'm just going to extend the feather fronds, or whatever you want to call them. I'm going right over the top of the pencil. Hang on, let me let the cat in. Hopefully I can keep her off the table. I just want it to look, you have to get down. Just some feathery ends. Can you see how it's extended off? Yes, Poscas are acrylic. And then these down here, see, I'm going right over her braids. Can y'all see that? So this is why you have to have all that background stuff done first. And her skin, you have to have her skin all done before you can put these little white feathers on top. Because here's the thing, if you don't, you're going to try to be coloring behind her, coloring her skin in between little tiny feather fronds, or whatever they're called. Feather, bits. I don't know what you'd call them. Individual little feather bits. And I might want it a little whiter. In some areas, I'll make it a little thicker in a few areas. See, I'm going right over her eyebrow there. So you have to have everything in the back done. Hey, Scoobs. So we're going from this to this. And then when that dries, I can even flick a couple like crossing over each other, kind of like I do hair. So it makes it a little more fluffy. So some of the little feather fronds might be a little more fluffier. Because I want them to be soft and feathery. Even though they're like perfectly lined, I mean, like they're like this. This is what they look like on the page. Well, I guess I could stay in camera because I can't move that. So even though they look like this, perfectly even and symmetrical, like that. See, I'm adding thicker ones and making them fluff out like this. I want it to be fluffier. So it look real soft next to her skin. Thanks, stars. So again, if you're just joining us, we're working on her today. And then the next episode that we do in here, we're going to work on the wolf. And this is part 3. There's a little bit one back there. You just can't do this stuff though till after like the braids are done, her skin is done. Because there's no way to color those braids once you put those feathers on. You'll lose it, you know. Okay. Oh, thanks, Scoobs. All right, so you see why we had to do all that other stuff first? All right, now the last thing I want to do today is, let me back up one here. 2, there we go. All right, I want to work on to show you the rose gold. Now again, I already showed you how we did different sections of it here. I'm going to just work on this bracelet a little bit, or this armband, and then we'll call that a day on this today's day. All right, so I got some grays. I got 3 grays, pink, hot pink, which is hot pink, and then a brighter orange, like it's like this is salmon, but I think we might have used like a brighter orange. I don't remember. But anyway, an orange, hot pink, and a light peachy pink. Okay, so I already laid down a layer of this light pink. Remember, I got it all over all the metal, the same pink. All right, so now I'm going to go in here with the orange, and I'm going to put a layer of I'm going to start with just, I'm going to keep this area light, and I hope it shows up. I hope this is going to show up. So I'm just going to start by putting it on the back ends, like where it rounds. Okay, so this is where it would round around her arm, right? I'm right there on the edge. And I'm just going to kind of lightly feather it. Yeah, that's showing up. All right, now I'm going to shade under all those, I guess they'd probably be raised areas, you know, like the gold is humped. So I want to put a little bit of the orange under each one of those. Actually, I didn't really want to go that far. Let's see. I want to keep it a little lighter right down the center. So let's just go most of the way in there. And actually, if it's raised, it's going to probably be on the top part too, because this is raised up. These little humps here, these little lines, they're going to be like this. So there'd be shadows on both sides. More maybe on the bottom, but they'd still have. Okay. We following still? We still with the tour? All right, now I'm going to go with the hot pink, and I'm kind of going to do the same thing. And I'm going to put a little shadow of the hot pink under each one. It'll be more shadow, but I'm going to start with the hot pink. Like a little shadow under each one of the little beads here. Is that showing up? Can y'all see, guys? I'm trying my best, but if I get too zoomed in, it just pixelates. Let's see if I can focus it a little better. Hang on. I don't know if that's any better, but because I'm so zoomed in. Amazing how you make the band lines look raised. Yeah, exactly. It's all in the shading, and we're going to shade even more with the grays in a minute. Going to get the base coat on here, but I'm leaving it really light here because that's where the light's really going to shine. And this is going to be the same kind of thing I'm going to do on all the metal. Because the next episode I want to get to the wolf and the fur. Okay. I need just a tiny bit of the pink right in here. Just a little. I want to keep it very light. Okay, I might need a little bit more orange too to blend. If you want to try your Derwent blender pencil, but don't do that till the end. Don't do the blending with the pencil till the blender pencil till you're done. That's to me the last thing. Don't do that till you want to mash it down. Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take the lightest gray, and I'm using the colors that Jennifer used in her tutorial of doing rose gold. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go in here and do a little bit of shading with the gray, the light gray. And this is why you got to have light layers so you can put lots of layers. Okay, you'll see how that's making that pop. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a little bit more all the way along that black line there. Okay, just very not gentle. Keep it blended. You might have to go back with the pink again, then do that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the dark gray, or the darker gray. This is cool gray 70%. And I'm going to do the same thing again. Just not as far. Just a little less. And maybe keep the darker gray to under on the bottom side here. And if you need to, go back with, your peach or your pink or whatever to make it a soft blend. I haven't done anything with the blender pencil yet. Okay, still with the dark gray. Thanks, guys. Oh, good. I'm glad, guys. Glad you like it. We're following Jennifer's tutorial, so y'all want more detailed instructions on how to do all this, get her book. I mean, she's not paying me to say that. I'm just saying, she's got excellent individual tutorials, for gems and metal, and, we've done one of her cat eyes. Okay, so got a little bit of that. All right, now I'm going to go back with the pink again and kind of blend that in. Get back in there with a little orange too if you need to. Okay, so with all this penciling, I've kind of lost the edge of those little beads, the little cabochon. So I'm going to go in there with the darkest gray, and I want to get right, maybe even black. Let's go with black. I'm going to get right up under each little bead. Okay, and then don't forget this little bit right on the top here. Those little lines going across, those are metal too. So I just put a little bit of orange or pink on because I'm going to highlight those here in a minute. So the little line coming across. So I'm just going to blend that in. Okay, with the white Posca, we're going to do that in a second. All right, now I'm going to take the darkest gray again here and just get a little more sharpness right on the very, very edge. Okay, Kat, you're going to have to move. Come on, you're going to have to move, baby. Okay, so I'm going to get nice contrast going here. Very gently. You'll see that? And maybe just the tiniest bit coming up under those raised bits there. I'm right there on the edge. A little tricky down here on the edge. Okay, now I'm going to go back in there with the pink again. Kind of blend that in. Okay. Still with the tour. All right, needs a little dark right under, I actually probably need black. Right up where her arm is, it's going to be dark right up under there because that's where her arm is. So let's get a nice shadow under there. And let's just kind of blend that out a little. That. All right. Now, I'm going to take the Derwent blender because we're trying to use this today. Where's my pencil sharpeners? Oh, there we go. Sharpen it. Now wait for it, Wait till we get to the Posca. Jennifer uses gel pen. We're using Posca. All right, so now I'm going to, and again, I could have done this with the pencil, just more pencil, but I'm trying to use this blender for you guys because somebody requested it. I don't remember who. And just want to blend those little edges. And again, clean your tip off there so you don't pick up, so you keep it clean. I had it pretty well blended, but we just added a little bit more. Okay. Now we're going to take the Posca. All right, let me get an angle here. Why? Maybe I just need to tilt my camera down. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to highlight the little beads and the little metal, the little line of metal coming across it and the top of the bead. Whoops, got that a little. Just like that. Just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to put just a dot right on the edge, just a tiny, tiny little shine on those beads, like that. Can you even see that? All right, now the lightest part is right here, so I'm going to put, and I'm just going to touch the edges, just so it's not a cut off. And just touch, touch. Kind of feather it out with your finger, just the slightest bit. And then maybe just the tiniest bit right there in the center. Like that. Probably right in here too, just the tiniest bit. Just gotta kind of look at it. And then if you get it too much in any one place, then just go back in there and, you know, sharpen it up if you've gone off the line. So something like that. Maybe just the tiniest bit more orange. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's back it out now. Let's look at the big picture. Okay. I think the cat barked it a minute ago. All right, let's go back in one. So now you can see where we're going to go. The rose gold here, we're going to do that around all this. And also on these lines here. All that's metal. But I thought I would do this big part so that you could see a big chunk, right? A big, because, you know, this is not going to show up much. Just like this doesn't show up much right in here. It just doesn't show up like a big piece like that. So all this is going to be her other bracelet, this bracelet. It's all going to look like that. Okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. And then same thing with the feathers, all the little lines. Now this is going to be very dramatic once we get all that rose golded in, right? It's going to look like this. So anyway, I think we're going to stop on this. We're right at 2 hours. And so we got a chunk of the rose gold. We finished her face. We did the feathers. We did the sky and the stars. I'm not going to do the clouds and the mist until we finish the wolf. Okay? So I will probably work on, off camera, I'll work on some more of the rose gold You know, it's all going to look just the same thing I just did there. We're going to do it on all the rose gold. And then next time we'll work on the wolf fur, and hopefully we can finish this in another 2.5 hour segment and do mist. I'm not sure how I want to do, if I want the moon just to be like just a little bit of blue in there, you know, and leave it nice and white, because we're going to put mist. They're going to be in mist, and that'll be the very last thing we do. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Again, we're working out of, and here comes the cat with a little mouse. She brought me a mouse to throw. She fetches. She's a fetcher. So this is Bella Futura, Jennifer Zimmermann. And again, her other book, if you want some tutorials. Uh-oh, something flew out. Oh, that's my little animal drawings. The Secrets of Coloring. And then this is her other new one. Well, I mean, this is her first one. Glamourista. And Connie sent me this one because she wanted me to have the full Jennifer Zimmermann set. So, yeah. So I think these are all of them. Glamourista. Then there was The Secrets of Coloring. And this is her new one, Bella Futura. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. And hang on, and if you're watching on YouTube, then I'm going to come back with a different segment. But the next time we color, we're going to try to finish up. We're going to try to finish up. The wolf. Or maybe we'll do a cat sometime. Okay, guys, we'll be right back. Thanks for watching.